Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you for being here early with me. Welcome, friends. I'm so glad that you're all here. Let me make sure that I mute my phone just in case it rings. It's muted already. Okay, we are good there. All right. Today is the day. I know some of you may have been waiting for this. You probably not. But today we are going to be picking the winner for our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. But before we get to that, let's say hello to some people. Matt Franklin is here, my magical friend. Thank you so much for being here, my good friend. I appreciate you so very much. Mr. Gugahan, I am proud to call you a friend, and thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Matt, Dustin, and all. Thank you so much. Becky is here. Thank you so much, Becky. We've got Christian Delorme in the house. Thank you, Christian, for being here. Bonjour. Bonjour. He, ho, croissant, baguette, Yep. Never going to stop doing that until I get canceled for it. You never know what's going to happen these days. Sherry is here. Good morning, dear. Thank you so very much for being here. Becky's asking how everybody is. I'm hoping that you're all doing well. Milady Laugh a Lot Andy is here. Good morning. She says, good morning from Hamel, Illinois, a mini solo vacation. Oh, very nice. I do like a good solo car trip. I may be heading down to Louisville this week to visit a friend. So yeah, we'll maybe more about that later. Uncle Big Guy is here. Thank you for being here, my friend. I truly appreciate it. Matt Franklin says, having a great morning after spending the day celebrating my wife's birthday yesterday. Well, make sure Sarah knows that she's loved and that to tell her I said happy birthday. Oh, let's see. Jennifer Lucas is here. Good morning, Jennifer. I had a nice phone conversation with Jennifer yesterday. That was pretty nice. I like talking to people. I had gone to Aldi, picked up the week's groceries at Aldi. I don't typically do that, but I was, you know what? I was just like, I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things going on. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some stuff. I went there because they had ribeye steak on sale, but the ones they had on sale were tiny. And there's something about a small steak I just can't get. I'd rather have a big steak. They were like, I mean, if you're paying by the pound, but still, I had to buy a whole bunch of packages and have to eat multiple steaks. And I was like, you know what? I'll pay full price for the big steaks, and that's what I did. Hopefully, they're good. I also got so I got some ribeye steaks. I got some. I got some chicken tenderloins, and I'm going to make some keto breaded chicken tenders. It's one of my favorite videos, one of my favorite recipes, and I'm super sad that it doesn't have more views. That should, when I made that video, I was like, man, this is going to break the internet. It did not. And I guess that's just kind of what it comes down to, really. It's like, you think you're going to have something cool and it doesn't quite do what you want it to. But I digress. If you haven't checked out that video, it's an awesome video. It's delicious. I've got a lot of videos planned for this week. I got to record some today, edit them, get them done. Some cool things in the works. But I haven't yet had a single sip of my coffee. Nothing like the internet doing its internet things and being slow when I pay for fiber. Jen says, dude, you held out on the ribeye sale. I didn't hold out on nothing. I mean, I didn't even buy it. So, I mean, I didn't think it was that great of a deal, really. And I bought full price ribeyes instead. So, I don't know. Do with that what you will. If you have Flip, the app on your phone, you can see all the store ads of all the stores in your area and what they have on sale. So Andy says, after I get home, I'll load up your channel and let it run on my TV. I always love a good recipe video. Well, I appreciate that. It was just one of those recipes that like I kind of came up with and it worked out really well. I've made it a bunch myself and it's super easy. And like if you like breaded chicken tenders that are basically zero carb, it's a no-brainer. It's a legitimate no-brainer. But it just hasn't gotten the love that I thought that I hoped it would, you know? Yeah, these were like, I mean, they were 2 steaks and they weren't even a pound for the whole for 2 steaks. So they were less than half a pound. They were small. They were small and thin. I mean, certain people probably like that, but I like a nice big pound and a half steak. That was not these. Brian Doyle in the house. Good morning, Mr. Doyle. They don't have ribeyes in the neighborhood Aldi. They have ribeyes at mine. I don't know. I've got 3 Aldis that are basically the same distance from each other. I have one in Speedway, one in Avon, and one in Brownsburg. You know. Good morning, Evelyn. I am so glad you are here. Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. Sarah Reagan says, good morning. Question. How does one guess if they are ready to do the bridge walk at Keto Palooza 24? My watch says I walk nearly 5 miles a day on flat surface. Thanks in advance for my advice. I didn't do the walk last year. I think it's, what is it, 3 kilometer? Was it a 3 kilometer walk? Maybe it's more. I don't know. I didn't do it simply because when I wanted to get things ready to go, I wanted to get checked out of the hotel room before we went downstairs to the final day. So when I got everything in the car ready to rock and roll, so when the day was over, all I had to do was leave. I didn't have to go, and I didn't have to worry about late checkout. I didn't have anything sitting. So basically, I skipped out on the walk to pack my car. That's what I did. Let's see here. Christy's here. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for being here. She says, hi, everyone. She probably said exactly in her head. She's like, hi, everyone. That's what she sounds like. Andy says, I did the bridge walk and it was fun. You don't think of the distance when you're in a group like that. So much fun. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, you're out there. You're walking across the water. I mean, it's beautiful. Like I said, I didn't get to do it. I didn't go on the walk, but I saw the videos and photos and such. Good morning, everyone, says Charlie, just stopping in before heading out to the exercise class. Look at you, boss man, hanging out. Thank you for being here, Charlie. I appreciate you. Let's see. Becky says, I don't have patience enough to bread chicken. Usually just throw some salt on top of them, put them in the air fryer for 15 minutes, flip another 25 minutes, and they're done, crispy skin. So here's the deal with this recipe. This recipe is 2 ingredients. You can make it with a third if you want. I have basically the primary ingredients are liquid egg whites and Parmesan, like grated Parmesan cheese, the craft variety, the green plastic container. That's what works because it works like a flour. And you mix basically like 2 to 1, 2 cups of egg whites to 1 cup of the cheese, and you whisk it all together. And you just basically get your pan hot with oil, your lard or your tallow or whatever you want to use. And you take the chicken tenders, you dry them off so they're a little sticky. And then you just dredge them, just run them real quick through that liquid and then toss them in the fryer. Run it through, toss it in the fryer, run it through, toss it in the fryer, and then just flip them. When, after a little bit, they'll get brown on one side and you flip them over to the other side. And it's the quick and easiest chicken tender recipe you could imagine. There's no double dredging. And if you use like chopsticks, if you know how to use chopsticks, you don't get your fingers all gross. And Jeff Foltz says, "Good morning, my PhD friends. Good morning, Jeff." I almost said Jeffrey, but I don't know. I mean, some people get all mad about that. Chrissy says, "Yes, that's what I sound like at 4:41 a.m. LOL. I knew it." She's like, "Good morning." She's like running through her house and skipping around and hanging out, having a good time. Christian Delorme says, "Day 2 of quitting smoking. That is amazing. And I will never, ever not say that's awesome. I quit smoking in June of 2010. So over 14 years ago, I quit the smoking. I still have dreams about it. I still dream about smoking. I dream, but I mean, they're usually like I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm like, man, I've been quit for so long. Why am I doing this? I dream about self sabotage. And then sometimes if I'm out, I'll catch a whiff of a cigarette and it'll smell so good. But I'll tell you one thing, when I first quit, I'd be in my car driving down the street and I'd be at a stoplight and I could smell somebody smoking a cigarette across the intersection, like staying in front of a building. I'm like, where's that coming from? And I'd see it like 100 yards off. And I'm like, how is that a thing? But at the same time, have you ever been driving down the highway, the interstate, and smelled marijuana? Like, how is that a thing? Like, you're on the highway. How much are people in the cars doing this? If you're driving like, and it's not skunk, because yet there's subtle, there's obvious differences there, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I just want to say, Christian, that's amazing. Amazing, amazing accomplishment. And I'm in your corner. You can make it to day 3. You can make it to year 1, year 5, year 10. You're going to do it. You're going to be a success, my friend. You're going to do it. No doubt about it. Jen says, if you're interested in making funny videos, I've got to practice getting my power chair onto a carrier, and I suck at the joystick, and it's a tight fit. It's too early for what she said jokes. Crashing off the side is a solid possibility. Well, I don't want to record you hurting yourself. That's not funny. As we all should be congratulating Mr. Delorme. Well, that's the thing, is when I quit smoking, like I remember it was I ran out of cigarettes on a Thursday. I had just the last one, and typically I would have stopped at the gas station on my way home. I was at work and I smoked my last one. And I would typically just stop at the gas station and pick up, whatever pack, 3-pack, whatever was going on at the time. And I just didn't. And then Friday came and I didn't smoke at all. The downside is that Saturday, so I quit smoking. I had my last cigarette on a Thursday. That Saturday, I went to Wine Fest and drank a bunch of wine. And then I could smell people smoking cigarettes. And it was so difficult. I made it through that. I knew I was going to be good to go. Stacy is here. Good morning, Stacy. How are you and Ken? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're all on the mend. You guys just keep keeping on. I know you've got a lot of obstacles and a lot of things that are keep popping up, and You're making it through all of them, and I'm so very proud of you. Yeah, she said so Becky said, "Sounds easily simple." Yeah, I mean, so one of the things is, like, when you mix it together, 2 cups of, egg white liquid egg whites, and then a cup of the green Parmesan cheese. I have some, so you could add, like, a tablespoon of oat fiber, so it's, like, basically just the fiber from the oats, so there's no actual carbohydrates involved, it's, like, 0 net carbs, and I'll add sometimes a tablespoon of that and mix it in a little bit, and I'll let it sit for about a little bit, but you don't really need that, I don't think. I've also made it accidentally with I made it, but because I accidentally bought egg beaters by mistake. Uh, the grocery store I was at that day, their egg substitute or whatever it was, the egg substitute, or whatever. I don't know if it was a substitute or if it was just like full liquid eggs, but I think it was an egg substitute. It wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good product. But the container, like the egg white and the egg substitute containers, looked very similar. So when I didn't read it, I was just in a hurry and I popped it out and I got home and I'm like, it actually turned out okay. I made them anyway and they turned out fine. But egg whites, I mean, it's cleaner and it's, basically 0 carb chicken tenders. And then you can dip them in your sauce of choice. I think they're amazing. They're so good. They turn out so good. Brenda Foley says, "Good morning." Stacy says, let's see. Ken hasn't smoked in over 30 years, and that was the first thing he asked for when he came to in the ER after having heat stroke. What? That's insane. But I mean, like I said, like every once in a while, I'll just be like, I miss smoking. It's a weird thing because so in my opinion, and the way I see it is with smoking cigarettes, your body will manufacture stress because your body knows if you feel stressed, you're gonna give in and I need to go have a cigarette. So I would be at work and I would get frustrated, and you get that overwhelming, stressed out feeling, and you want to go smoke. So you just skip out and go smoke a cigarette real quick or whatever. And I've found that since I've quit smoking, and I mean it's 14 years, I don't have that constant stress. Like something frustrates me, I just deal with it. I don't know. It's weird. Dude, I'm not gonna ride on it. I don't have a. Come on. All right, Charles Bronson, let's hear you. United Carnivores in the house. He says, "Good morning from Tampa Bay." Anybody seen Rick? Rick will be like, "Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting iguana tails." He'll be like, "It's duck season." All right, it's 20 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead. I've already pulled the link for the video. Let me go ahead here and pull this over so I can see what's going on here. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but let's see if I can go ahead. I've got my video already linked in here. So I filtered duplicates. One person can win. 4. Get my YouTube comments. They're going to come in. Only 25 unique comments. Only 25 of you commented to win. So it's a 1 in 25 chance. So here's the raffle winner. Here we go. Here we go. It should not. It picked me. It said I win. That's not right. Pick another winner. 22 Q Cat wins. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and I will reach out to her and let her know that she won. Lynn won. All right. I'll post in the community tab after this stream is over so that she knows that she won. Congrats to Lynn. All right. That's actually good for me because she lives in town, so I don't have to pay as much in shipping. I could probably just have her meet me somewhere and just hand it to her. I don't actually have to ship it. Unless she doesn't want to meet me. You're right. It does know I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Too bad she wasn't in the chat here to see herself win. But you didn't need to be here to win. Have any of you subconsciously at a pitch in grabbed a carbs food and stuffed it in your face? I had a cupcake at my granddaughter's birthday party yesterday. I didn't even want the cupcake because I'm not a big fan of cupcakes. But when I said I didn't want a cupcake, she was upset about the fact that I didn't want a cupcake. So Paul ate a cupcake. And I had some like the cheesy puff things too. And it was hot. It was so hot. It had been like in the 70s, like all week. And then yesterday it was 92 degrees. So I was like, ugh. And we had booked, so we went to this park called Williams Park. And they have a big splash pad. And we paid money to book the shelter. There's like multiple shelters across this park. It's a big park. Like there's like a mile running track that kind of goes around the outside of the thing. And there's probably 5 or 6 different shelters. So you can rent them. And we rented the one right next to the splash pad and right next to the restrooms. And the splash pad was closed. They basically tore it apart. So it's not going to be open until next season. So that's that. But that was fine. We had fun. We had balloon fights and it was good. Matt says, more times than I can count, but I'm a little more metabolically flexible, I guess. I know when I'm having too many carbs, when my mental health starts to go down and the depression starts kicking in. I can feel it in my joints. Like if I've had some keto bread or like tortillas or something that I shouldn't have had, or even sometimes I don't even realize I've had something that I shouldn't have, or maybe there was something in something that I've had. My joints will I'll want to pop my fingers and I'll want to pop my joints and it'll be weird. Hey, yo, Heath is here. He said, heard you talking about smoking. That's right. Did you used to smoke? I imagine you probably did. This cup keeps grabbing my mustache and it hurts. I don't like it. Let's see. Andy says, I'm trying to half my portion starting this week. I truly eat more food than I really should. Wish me luck. This fluffy crap around my middle really has to go away. Just make sure that you're getting enough protein, enough fat, and you're not under eating. Because that'll be more detrimental to you than, Yeah. He says, my dad was so hardcore dedicated to smoking that he had a special metal case to carry a soft pack plus the holster for a Zippo lighter. And on top of that, my grandmother, she smoked Winston Light 100s forever. And she had She'd always get them in the soft pack, and you'd rip the top off or whatever. She had a little cigarette case that they went in, and it folded over, and there was a little pouch for her lighter. And she smoked for as long as I can remember. Then she finally quit, and she had some of her lung removed in like 2007. And like my mom had strokes at that time. She was like somebody, so they're both in the hospital at the same time. It was a wreck. So they were both in the hospital at the same time, and I continued to smoke for 3 more years. That's the thing. Is that you can be confronted with something like, "Oh, my grandma's having some of her lung removed," and then you just continue to smoke for 3 years. Becky says, "Today is my last day, or the last day of the local fair. I don't go. They don't have food I can eat, and I don't pet animals. Very allergic." We love the fair. Um, there's so much cool stuff if you actually dig into the fair. There's so much cool stuff. There's like a building we always go into where there's all these people that have done art. There's quilts. Sounds like old people stuff, but I mean, we take the granddaughter, we look at the animals. She loves animals, horses, pigs, sheep, all that stuff. Um, we know that there's not food there we should eat, but it's like the only time I get corn dogs. And I love corn dogs. And keto corn dogs aren't the same. They're just not the same. There's a consistency that you just can't match when it comes to corn dogs. So I will, the fair comes around once a year. I'll get a couple corn dogs. I had 2 corn dogs this year at the fair, and a couple bites of a grilled cheese, a couple bites of some of this blueberry ice cream stuff that they had. Um, I had like a bratwurst. I mean, nothing crazy. But it's just nice. You just go in. It was nice, cool. We walked around and looked at stuff. There was just there's just a lot of stuff to look at. We don't care about the midway because that's usually where the midway is typically where anything bad is going to happens at the midway. Yeah. So Jeff Jeff says I feel it in my joints also. Yeah, I mean you just do. And Matt says my grandfather smoked 2 packs of unfiltered Lucky Strikes a day until he had a heart attack. He quit cold turkey that day. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like all the people having heart attacks in the early parts of the 21st century was probably most likely due to smoking, not meat. It was not meat consumption. It was the smoking. Like when did the in the 50s when the president had the heart attack? Was he a smoker? I mean, he probably was. I think everybody was a smoker at that point, kids included. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to get this screenshot here so I can make sure I get it uploaded so Miss Lynn knows that she won. Close enough. Okay, boys and girls. So, how has everybody's week been? I've had a pretty good week. He says when he asked that when we cremated him, he wanted my brother to put a cigarette in his ashes, and was like, "Well, damn, what a Marlboro sticker on your urn." That is crazy. Sean says, "I'm trying to get my sister to quit smoking. She says that she wants to quit, but it's too tough. It's hard. I mean, you have to be ready. It's like anything. It's like anything that dealing with our community, for example. You can try keto, you can try carnivore, you can try all of these things, but if you're not in a place where you're totally committed, ready to go, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna succeed. I mean, you're just not. You have to be ready. Truly, truly ready. Jen says, I take you guys to the zoo free on my granny pass when it cools down. We should go. 155%. I want to go to the zoo. Let's see. John says, I want to see this first. I heard he smoked 5 packs a day. Okay. I don't want to get into politics, but do you have any thoughts on JFK Jr. commitment to ultra processed food? I hope some meat based folks get involved too. I don't know. I don't really put a lot of faith in what politicians say in an election cycle. It's what they say once they're elected that really matters. And I think that any politicians right now, to me, are the equivalent of teenagers in a student council president type thing. We're going to have vending machines and we're going to get pizza every Friday and McDonald's in the lunchroom. And we're going to have Kool-Aid coming out of the drinking fountains. And they're just spouting all this stuff. And none of it is legitimate. I don't think they're actually going to be able to do any of it. That's my take on it. That's my look at politics. Is it doesn't matter which side you're rooting for, what set you're down with, whether you're red or blue. I think that they're both telling you exactly what it is you want to hear, so that you will vote for them. And I don't think it's real. It's all like just it's all sparkly unicorn dust being blown up your skirt. And that's why I don't try to get too heated when it comes to politics. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, Eisenhower's a smoker. So, I mean, the dude had a heart attack and he was a smoker, and they were like, we got to not eat meat anymore. You don't got to smoke anymore. I mean, that's the thing. Oh, yeah. Andy, congratulations on 2 months on YouTube. It's a tremendous accomplishment. It truly is. In junior high, I had a science teacher tell us that he had quit smoking and drinking alcohol on the same day. Well, I mean, realistically, if you're going to do both, if you're going to quit both, you might as well do them at the same time, because typically they go hand in hand. If you're going to drink, you're probably going to smoke. And if you're going to, I mean, not that you're going to drink every time you smoke, but almost guaranteed, if you're trying to quit smoking and you have that drink, you're probably going to have that smoke. It's a never-ending struggle, Andy. I've got videos that I've had recorded for a year that I haven't edited. I've got a bunch of product reviews that will probably never see the light of day just because nobody watches them. They're fun and easy to make, but they cost me money. But people don't really care all that much. They're funny for us. We enjoy making them, but we've bought a bunch of stuff recently to do reviews on, and we just ate it. We didn't even film a review. He said he smoked a whole pack, but let's see. But put in the beer stein and filled it with beer, drank, ate it, and then never touched it again. Ugh, that sounds disgusting. Just Googled it, and Eisenhower smoked 3 to 4 packs a day. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. It's a solid step in the right direction. I'm guessing that we have a better chance of introducing meat benefits. I don't know. I just think that we're at a space right now that it's such a topsy-turvy. Like, the idea that if you're pro meat, then there's just a lot of weird stuff going on right now. and there's like hardly any nuance to any of it. It's all either this or this, and you're either good or you're bad, and it's just not a good place right now. Um, Brian says, "Why does everyone say undereating is so horrible, but the key to Ozempic and GLP-1 inhibitors is lowering appetite so much that you lose a lot of weight?" The problem with GLP-1 and Ozempic and things like that isn't the fact that it suppresses your appetite. It's the fact that the weight loss you're losing is actually lean body mass and not so much fat. So yeah, you're losing weight and you're losing quite a bit because lean body mass obviously weighs more than fat. So that's the issue. And that's when people start losing weight, the scale matters because people get transfixed on the scale. And if you are under eating and you're losing lean body mass because you're taking a GLP-1 inhibitor, then you're losing weight on the scale, but you're doing a lot of damage to your body. So that's why I would say that under eating is an issue, because if you're chronically under eating, you're going to be you're going to be having issues with your metabolism. So you want to eat enough to where your metabolism is still going to be working efficiently. So you don't want to be overeating to the point where you're eating like, 10,000 calories, but you also don't want to be eating only 1,000 calories. I think that Charlie Darth Carnivore is already gone, but he was telling me that he had upped his calories and actually started losing weight. He's been doing carnivore for a good while, and it kind of come into a stall. And now this is just from my memory. I could be I could be off. If he was here, he would, I'm sure, correct me. But he was saying that he uh he had like gone from like 2,000 ish calories to like 4 to 5,000 calories and actually started to lose weight. So I just don't think that starving ourselves is necessarily the answer. I think finding satiety should be what we look for. So finding a ratio of protein and fats that you eat it and your body goes, I'm good. I think that should be the goal. And I think once you kind of find that, then I think your body will go, okay, we're good. And if you're adding in some strength training and you're walking and you're doing all these things, your appetite will probably fluctuate. So if you're working out and you're walking more and you're doing all these extra exercises, you're going to probably, it's probably going to take more to find satiety. You just up your food a little bit, add some fat, add some protein. I don't think it's necessarily all that complicated, but we're all different and we all see things differently. So I want to say hello to Jen Delaney. Jen Delaney, I'm so very glad to see you today. I want to come visit you, dear, this week. I don't know what would be better. I don't know what you've got going on, what's going on, where you're going to be. I don't want to give too much information away. I don't know what you want shared, but I want to come see you maybe Monday or Tuesday, either maybe Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, depending on what is good for you. Tuesdays are a little difficult because of our lives and stuff, but maybe I'll do what I got to do. I want to come see you. So let me know what works for you. You can either do it in the chat here, or you can text me. That's fine. You have my number, and we're friends on Facebook, so you can do Facebook Messenger. You can text me on my phone number. You got these digits, so let me know what's going on. And I love your face, dear, and thank you for being here. Let's see. John says at least RFK Jr. is talking about it and bring. Yeah, I think the problem is I think someone like RFK kind of has a stigma with him that people don't necessarily take anything he says seriously. So I don't know if he is the best spokesperson for that. It's like kind of how, you can have candidates that'll be like, the sky is blue. And people be like, I can't believe that's fake news. Fake news. The sky isn't blue. You know what I mean? There's such a thing. Like you can be, how different candidates can actually literally tell the truth. And then the other side will say they're lying. I mean, you're just not going to get it. It's all about perception. I just don't know if he is the right person. Now we need everybody we can get, but is he the right person? I don't know. That's the thing about politics. It's so nuanced, and everybody has their favorite, and it doesn't even have to do with who they are or their platform or whatever. We just pick and choose. It's like wrestling. Anyway, he says American politics is just like pro wrestling. They all come out in the same locker room, put on a big show for all of us, and head back and count all of our money. 1,000%. And people get so mad when I'm like, you know what? I mean, they're all the same. They work in the same building. I mean, they all work in. They basically built a small town where they work, and where they work looks great. But you step outside of their office, and it's like a third world country. So I mean, take that for what you will. Like DC is a mess, and they live there. Let's see. Andy says, Brian, the muscle loss from not much protein is a problem. Yeah. Brian says, United Carnivore, I brought it up about JFK Jr. Dustin skipped over the comment. Oh, I didn't mean to skip it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go in order here. I don't see which one I missed. I'm sorry, Brian. Let's see. 90 subscribers and 40 videos, so close to 100. Yes, that's amazing. Campfire were a big, like I checked last night to make sure our garage was closed, and somebody had a fire going and you could just smell it. It smelled great. Let's see. He could have overlooked it. Glad he spoke on it. I'm not sure if I missed something. Let me know. I don't want to miss something. And if I do, it's definitely not on purpose, unless it's you'll know if I delete your comment. I'm not going to pass over something unless it's people saying hi to other people. Let's see. He says, my dad used to try and tell me that he could do carnivore, but I reminded him that his favorite thing in the world was a plant, Mr. Tobacco. Oh man, it's crazy. Let's see. I understand that, but if you eat less with enough protein, why isn't that the same? I think I don't know. I don't know the mechanics of it, to be honest with you. Good morning, Chris. Chris Cook in Nashville is here. I'm so glad you are here, good friend. Truly glad. I'm gonna take a drink for you right here. Some coffee, delicious coffee. And Matt says GLP-1s are terrible. My wife was on one for 9 months. She lost muscle mass and she lost appetite to the point she could only eat 4 eggs a day. Yeah, I think the problem with the problem with the weight loss industry is they are far more concerned with the scale than they are overall health. And you're not going to find overall health in a pill. We know that. We're here. I'm preaching to the choir here. But I think that finding or being able to guide somebody and helping them find their own satiety and finding out what it is they should be eating each day based on how they feel. I feel my best if I'm eating just meat and eggs and having my coffee. And my electrolytes. I feel tremendous. But I am a dum-dum. Like last night, I had a bunch of eggs. I shouldn't have eaten. It was after 10 o'clock. Or it was about 9:45 coming up on 10 o'clock. I made myself some eggs and I had some keto bread with it. And then we were watching a new show that we've been watching. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll look it up in a little bit if you guys are curious. It's about some witches. There's like witches and vampires and demons, but they all look human. And vampires go out in the daytime. I don't know what's going on. It's just a whatever show. It's good. It's something that Shannon and I can watch together. But anyway, I was watching that and we decided to go upstairs and get ready for bed. And I took some some keto cookies, and I took some pork and good pork rinds and a little bit of the Fairlife milk that I have, because every once in a while I do want some milk. I know that milk is bad, but milk's delicious. And the Fairlife milk is half the carbohydrates of regular milk. I know. And then I suffered all night because of that. I should not have eaten that late. I know not to eat that late. I know not to eat that late. And even if I know, knowing is only half the battle, right? G.I. Joe told us knowing is half the battle, but it's only half the battle. Being a dum dum is the other half of the battle. And I suffered for it. I was awake all night, toss and turn and all that stuff. So it is what it is. So I think for certain people, like my aunt is on a GOP-1 and she's lost a tremendous amount of weight. She's looking better. She's not as big. But I talked to her years when I first started doing the ketogenic lifestyle. We were at a wedding together and she's like, I can't even bend over to put my shoes on. I have to have help putting my shoes on. And I'm like, well, this is what you can do. And, this is what I'm doing. And I was just a couple of months into this. I wasn't even doing social media really yet. I was that new into all of it. And well, I mean, I was probably posting on like Instagram, but I had definitely not started YouTube or anything like that. But I was, and she's like, oh, maybe I can do that. And I've been mentioning it every so often as I run into her, as you see your family, and just never clicked. And now she's on this medication. She's losing weight. But I worry she's older, obviously. And if she's losing all this muscle mass and the fat's remaining, how is that gonna translate as she gets even older? She's gonna be more frail. And that's the stuff that I worry about. And I think that's where like prioritization of extra protein and upping protein as we get older. So yeah, anyway. Jen says, I'm an expert on breaking my metabolism. Aren't we all? Christy says, and when you get off the GLP-1s, after you've lost a bunch of muscle, the weight you will gain back is fat. So you're worse off than when you were before. Yeah, and they don't tell you that. They probably even, I mean, they probably do know that, but do they though? I don't know. And Andy says that bodies are complicated. I keep doing different things and it's not helping. Super frustrated. I get it. Have you ever gone and got a full thyroid panel? That's one thing that I've been trying to get Shannon to do for like 6 years, and she just won't. And she's a nurse and she knows better, but she's stubborn. Stubborn. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Dustin, that is the point. JFK Jr. put the issues in front of the politics. Most courageous thing I've seen in my life politically. Yeah, I get it. He was, he was definitely somebody that I was looking at to be interested in voting for if they were going to be an actual contender. But I think he's got a stigma around him. So yeah, he's putting it out there, but are people actually going to listen to him? Are they just going to mock him? And is it going to be more detrimental? That's how I kind of look at things like, and I'm not, and like I said, I'm not trying to be political here, but there's, each side can say things and they can literally say the truth and the other side is going to say it's fake. And both sides do it to each other and it's laughing and ridicule and then the celebrities get involved and everybody. So I just kind of wonder, like, is someone like JFK Jr. actually helping when he brings light to it? I know that it's good that it's kind of being mentioned, but are people actually going to think it's serious, or are they just going to go, oh, he didn't like vaccines, so and he wants us to eat meat. He's crazy. Meat's bad for us. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of wonder about it. Well, I will come visit you on either place. Just keep me posted and I'll come visit you. And you let me know if you need anything. And she says that she's in the hospital right now and that she'll go home today. So yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything until I wasn't gonna tell anybody, but she said she's fighting the cancer fight. So send Jen all your love and thoughts and prayers and all the things that you do, and keep her there. She is amazing. We love you very much, Jen. Um, all the best wishes. Oh, love it. Yeah, I'll look for it and see if I can find. Let's see. What's the meme? Well, the politicians should, yeah, all the NASCAR, yeah, would they have all the patches on their suits? Yeah, for sure. That's a thing, I mean, they're bought and paid for. And I think they've gotten to the point now where like the debt's so bad that I don't know they can fix it. I don't know. We're just kind of, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm out. I'm always out of order. Good morning, Maritza. Thank you for being here, dear. So let's see here. Sean's asking Matt, wasn't Sarah the one taking the GOP ones and getting off of them and having the problems that she had with it? I think she did mention that. Good morning, Cindy. You're always late. And Matt said, yeah, she was. The medicine wrecked her body for several months and she got off of it. And her doctor kept upping the dose and eventually she took charge of her health and just quit it on her own. That's the thing is like, I don't know. Like these drugs are like, they're raking in the money. I think they're closing in on like, they're probably $1 trillion medicine soon enough if they can keep the supply up, which is sad. Not that I want them to, but you know what I mean. They're having supply issues and then people are getting fake GOP ones. They're like getting black market stuff and even stuff. They found stuff at pharmacies that isn't real. That's how bad the problem is. Dr. Gabriella Lyon always talks about eating plenty of meat and cutting down on carbs and fats. Well, that's on the nose, isn't it? Someone with the last name of Lion on the nose. That's funny to me. People saying hello to everyone. Let's see. Andy says, I'm on thyroid meds. Even talked to Dr. Barry about it. It's a teeter totter and have to find the right meds and dosage. Yeah, I would say if you've been on the same meds for a while, go and get all you're like a full panel because like one thing that so some of the symptoms that Chandra's been has had over the years, she's constantly kind of tired. She's cold all the time. There's a couple other things, and I was listening to Amy Berger talking one day, and she was basically saying all this laundry list of stuff, and I'm like, everything she said was Chandra. She's like, you got to go and get this full panel, and most doctors won't even run it because insurance typically won't even pay for it. But now we've got things like Own Your Labs and stuff like that. There is more power to get to take charge of yourself. There's more opportunity to take charge of your own things and go and have your own labs run and get a full panel. I've been trying to get her to do it. It's like $100, $200. I mean, we spent more than that the other night going to the comedy club. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the thing. Um, yeah. Karen is here. Better late than never, she says. Well, I'm glad you are here. I mean, we're about an hour in and we'll be going until my coffee runs out. And it's pretty good amount of coffee here. I got a bigger coffee cup. This is a 40-ounce coffee cup just so I can make sure I'm here as long as you'll have me. Mm. Sherry Watkins. Better late than never. That's right. Sherry, did you go to Low Carb for Better Health this year? It was this weekend. Did you go to that? I wanted to so bad. It looked like it was a lot of fun. Ash and I, so Chris says, Ash and I are sitting down to have our coffee with you, Dustin. Today is our first actual day off in well over a month. I'm ready, so entertain me. Fantastic. I'm so glad. I don't have any, I'm just gonna look at my bridge troll face. Um, we went to the comedy club Friday night. It was a lot of fun. We went to go see a gentleman by the name of David Lucas. He is a roasting comedian. So one thing he does his set, tells his jokes and such, and they're pretty pretty bad jokes, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you got to really like comedy and not be easily offended to really enjoy his stuff. And then he brings people up on stage and then just basically makes fun of them. Like, I mean, it's a volunteer basis. So you go up on stage and you're like, you look like this, and what's wrong with you? But it was funny because a lady in the audience said something, so he always interacts with the audience, and he asked her, he's like, what do you do? And he was talking about stay-at-home wives, and she was a stay-at-home wife, and he was like, well, what does your husband do? And she's like, oh, and she goes, he's a pharmacist, and he goes, oh, that's how you get your diabetes medication. And mind you, like I said, this guy is a niche comedian, and you have to understand that he's there to pick out your worst. That's why you go see him. And I think people show up and they have no idea who he is. The spouse knows, you don't. You go with him, and you're like, oh, and she got up to leave, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Why would you leave? It's like you paid money to be here. You came to a show, hopefully understanding what the point of the show is, and you're gonna walk out, and then like people just get people do get upset or whatever. And I guess the 10 o'clock showing, there was like even more of that because we went to the 7:30 showing. I'll tell you, so this is an entertaining symptom. Like, in years past, like in the before times, if we left somewhere, we left downtown at 9:30. So we got to the show started at 7:30. There was an opener, a local opener. There was a traveling a middling comedian, the guy, like the feature act, if you will. The feature is the middle act. So a person he drove like 10 hours to be there. And then you had David, who was the headliner. He did an hour. So basically, after everything was said and done, and so after the comedy was done, we left. I went to the bathroom. We waited in line to meet him. I got a picture taken. It's on Facebook and Twitter. Shannon and I. So you can see that. I think I put it in the community tab, or the community tab on Facebook as well, or on YouTube as well. But even after all that was said and done, and we met him, he's been kind of doing low carb and stuff. He's like in with Rogan and all that stuff, and hanging out hanging out and he lives in Austin. And so he's part of the Kill Tony crew, and so he's been trying to lose weight. So he's been doing low carb and all that. So I took him some low carb goodies. I took him like 4 bags, like 4 different flavors of keto chow, a keto brick. I gave him some salty. I gave him like a sample pack of salty. I gave him a couple of my own clean slate, and I gave him a little thing of Redmond's real salt, the little travel shakers, and I gave him 2 different bags of pork and good pork rinds. I'm affiliated with everybody except Redmond's, but that's not why. I was like, I gave him the bag, and I was like, if you have any questions, let me know. Then we talked the next day. He's like, yeah, I ate the pork rinds already. Because I've been talking with him a little bit here and there on Instagram, just ask him how his stuff's going. Because he had made a post on a thing about a year ago, maybe. And he was like, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like, if you have any questions, I got you. And he messaged me. So we started talking here and there. And so I figured I would drop him off a little care package with some keto friendly stuff. But the weird thing is like when you go and you drop off like keto chow to somebody who's not in the know, who's not in the community, like, how do you explain how to use keto chow? Like, it's almost like you got to be like, well, here's a link to a video on how to use this. I mean, it's a great product, but at the same time, like if you're dropping it in the hands of someone who has no idea what to do, how do you guys, because like I sent him a message, I was like, When you're on the road, keto chow can work. You just maybe, just mix it with water and heavy cream and use a shaker bottle or whatever. But if you're at home and have access to a blender, I prefer using butter. But I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, you can use it to cook and make recipes and stuff. And I was like, it's like for someone like him who's on the road, like he's been in Indianapolis for 3 days. He got here Friday and he's here till he has a show tonight. He did 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and he has 1 show tonight. So I mean, like, you're either eating out or you get, food at the club. And the food at the club is always just typical bar fare, fried chicken, tenders or whatever, onion rings, French fries. So not a lot of keto options at the club. So, that's the kind of thing I was like, how does that impact? How could that help somebody that's on a tour away from home and wants to live a keto lifestyle? Because I mean, even if you're flying in and out of airports or whatever, you know, I mean, I imagine like 2 weeks ago he was in New York and Kill Tony did 2 nights at Madison Square Garden. So, sold out 2 nights, Madison Square Garden, 16,000 people each night. The writer there, and I mean, I'm sure the catering there was Rogan being involved and all the Kill Tony crew. I'm sure there was plenty of meat, and it was probably really easy to eat what you wanted and have a good, a relatively clean keto-ish low carb experience. But for someone that's on the road and you're like in and out of comedy clubs most of the time, it's got to be very difficult. So that's one thing that I've been, hopefully trying to impact him on, and hopefully he'll find success. But yeah, anyway, I don't know what else. But anyway, where I was going with that is like, so after it was said and done, we met him, and then I bought a T-shirt, and basically, then we were leaving the comedy club. It was 9:30. So like, well, what are we gonna do? And we don't really drink much, but we're like, let's go have a drink or something. We had because there was a 2 drink or 2 item minimum or whatever at the comedy club. So we fulfilled that, had a couple of drinks. And we're like, well, what, we were looking at different places. Everyone was like closing at 10, 11 o'clock at night, like bars. Like, we want to look, maybe go get some food or something, find something. And like, there just wasn't anything. So we had to like drive all the way out to this bar that was open till 2. But it was like, we never do anything. Shander was off Friday. And then she took yesterday off because it was our granddaughter's birthday. So we were able to go out Friday night for the first time in forever. For the first time in forever. Yeah, that's Frozen. I'm not inundated with child stuff all day, every day. But yeah, like it was just weird. Like, what is there to do anymore? I'm like, we're just going home. We're home all the time. So we're like, let's go do something. And there was nothing to do. It was kind of sad, really. It was kind of like, oh. And we texted a couple of friends and like, you want to meet us out? Want to meet? Like, no, no. Like, it's like you have to plan things months in advance for people to do anything with you. There's no spontaneity anymore. That really did bug me. That is like something that did really, really kind of bug me. Like, how do we get out of our comfort zones now? Our comfort zones are home. And I look at like, Chris and Ash, you guys are living outside of your comfort zone right now. So I'm sure you can attest to this. Like, you guys are both coming from having, full-time jobs and doing this for fun. And now you're doing this as your thing. So you're doing YouTube and music, and that stepping into that is got to be extremely fulfilling, but it's also going to be ridiculously terrifying. So it's no secret that I've been looking for a job. And I was talking with Jackie, Jackie's keto journey, Jackie's Jinx journey. And she was trying to help me get on where she is. And I had talked with a recruiter. I filled out the applications and all that stuff and talked with a recruiter and did the first assessment, the phone assessment. I talked with a second recruiter, and they were basically like, if I'm not open to working either first or second shift, it's not going to work out. And I'm like, okay, that's fine with me because I'm not working second shift. Second shift, 5 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. is just not going to work for us. Just won't. I mean, and realistically, Shander wants me to find a job, not necessarily because we need the money, but because it would make us doing other stuff easier. It makes going on vacations easier. It makes living easier. We make all of our bills with just her income. But, you know, and so we've been talking, and I'm basically going to start doing more work with her eBay because then it's extremely flexible. Because if I don't, if we need me to do something, I can go do it at a drop of a hat. If the kids need something, I can go do it because our kids have problems all the time. They lock their keys in their car. Their car's in the shop. They need ride across town. They need this, that, and the other. And it's always at inopportune times. And if I was at a job, then there would be no one there to help them. So that's what we're looking at. And the fact that if I had a job where I wasn't able to guarantee like Fridays off, so the way Chandra's job is she has to work every Saturday and Sunday. She has 4 vacation days that she can use. So since her only scheduled days are Saturday, Sunday, she only has 4 vacation days to use. So she used 1 for yesterday. And then later in September, we're using 2 of those. And she'll basically have 2 weeks off. And we've got an out of town wedding. And then, I've got Keto Palooza later on. So me trying to find a job right now outside of the home where I'm like, well, I'm going to need a week where it's not even like Monday through Friday. It'd be like we're leaving on a Wednesday and coming back on a Wednesday. That gives her time to relax after her last day of work and a couple of days to relax when we get back from Wisconsin. So basically, we're like going in the middle of a 2-week period to Wisconsin. We're staying for a week. We got an Airbnb. Her parents are coming in. All her siblings are coming in. Everybody's coming in. So we get to see everybody. Her niece is getting married. So it's going to be a nice thing. And it's just like, if I can find a way, I've been looking for remote jobs. And I found right now, like basically anything you're looking for as a remote job is probably a scam. Because I've been, I would apply for a couple different things for remote work to sign up to get remote work information. And like my spam calls have gone through the roof. I was already getting like 5 to 10 a day anyway. And it's even gone up. I'd applied at Costco and I haven't heard anything back. I even called them one time, like, well, we're looking at it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I guess they don't want me. It's fine. I know if I would get the job, it would be fine, but it's what it is. But I got a scam call that literally said Costco. And I'm like, oh, Costco. I answered it, and they want to talk about Medicare. I'm like, I am 45 years old. I am not ready for Medicare yet. But yeah, let's see what these comments got going on. I've been long-winded. See, Karen says that Dr. Bickman did an amazing talk about insulin and those new drugs and what metformin does to your body. Yeah, so yeah, like what about like because I know that Shander's been playing around with berberine and like it's like supposed to be like a supplement that is like metformin, but I looked it up like berberine isn't in any food. There's like no reason for us to have berberine, so I don't know enough about it. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm curious about that. What does a day off look like for you and Ash? Okay, you didn't attend low carb for better health. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Cindy, and everyone else I didn't respond to when I was making coffee. Coffee. Oh yeah. Ugh. That much coffee, I'd be running to the bathroom every 10 minutes after it hits. So there are there's 6 Nespresso shots in here and 3 teaspoons of espresso, like instant espresso. Nescaf came out with this new instant espresso. They have like a bold and they have a blonde. And for some reason, the blonde must be really popular or whatever because I haven't been able to find it. I've got a little bit left and I've been saving it, but the bold is like nice and rich. Oh, if you like coffee, just get a jar of it's like $6 for a jar. And maybe add like a teaspoon to your cup of coffee and just mix it in with some cream. It adds such a depth of flavor. It's so good. I'm actually do a full review of it. Sherry says, I'll be at KPL 24. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. I look forward to seeing you too. Chris says, we are going to the movies to see Twisters, and I'm not cooking. That's the thing. Like, Oh man, like the other night I went to Costco and they have, I don't know if if you guys' Costco's have them or not, but sometimes they have these wings. They have cooked wings. Like back where the chickens are, like you get the rotisserie chickens. They'll have like racks of ribs and they'll have these chicken wings. I love the chicken wings. They're probably not very clean. I didn't even look at the ingredients. They've got like a garlicky kind of like a brownish garlicky sauce on them. They're probably not great. But sometimes I just don't want to cook, even just cooking a steak. And I get home with it, and Shannon's like, I don't like those. And I end up cooking for her anyway. But, sometimes just not cooking is just worth the expense. Chris says, I love your face. The beard draws me in like a bug to a blue light. That was like one of the jokes. I forget who it was who made the joke, but they were like, you got to think of all the bugs who are still on their way to the sun right now. Like, this is going to be awesome. I'm a nerd. It's fine. It's like a song. You gonna write a song about my beard, Chris? It would be weird. Oh, yes, and I love my AC and the comfy leather. Being at home is great. I love being at home, but sometimes not being home, you just need it a little bit. It sounds like Christoph, the insulter at Ren Fair. His whole act is folks in the audience pay him to roast his friends. Yeah, it's kind of like, like what, like that was the whole thing, like with the court jesters in medieval times. Like if you knew things were going south, if the king killed the jester, or there was like in Native American cultures, there was like shamans and stuff, or like they were basically like roasters. Like if if we get into a place in society where we can't make fun of stuff and things, there's things that are off limits to being made fun of, then that stuff can't hold up to scrutiny because everything is flawed. Everything has flaws. Everything should be able to be picked apart and made fun of. Illnesses, politics, anything and everything should be able to be made fun of. Everything. Because that's how we heal, learn, and grow, in my own opinion. Matt says, never done a Ren Fair, but would love to go to one. I usually go to comic, gaming, cosplay conventions, going to MegaCon Orlando in February, March with my daughter. Gonna go in cosplay. I've never been to a Ren Fair. We went to Indie PopCon once years ago. I wanted to go because Kevin Smith was there, and he had a podcast at the time called Fat Man on Batman, and he did that. He and his co-host were there, and that was after. So we also paid to see the viewing of his movie. So he brought a movie, and we watched the movie at this. It was called Yoga Hosers. Not a great movie. It was a silly, campy movie, but he made it. His daughter was in it, and it was fun. It was cool to watch because then he talked for a little while, and his daughter was there, and then after that, they did the podcast, and we sat there. We were there like 1 or something in the morning. It was late, but it was awesome. I love Kevin Smith back. I don't know how I feel about him now, but whatever. Yeah. Andy says, when I travel, I don't use keto chow. I order to take keto bricks in my bag. Electrolytes are also a must. Yeah, I mean, electrolytes would be important. Keto chow, like I think the way I like it, I need a blender. I've never tried it with just. I need to try it. I need to mix up a thing of chocolate with just heavy cream and water and see how I like it, or maybe vanilla and see how I like it. But yeah, Sherry on a low carb journey says, hopping in to say hello. Can't hang out too long. Getting ready for church, then a wedding. Busy. That is a busy day. I hope you have your energy. Hope you have your coffee, your electrolytes, all the things you need. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy your day with all these wonderful people you're going to see. Chris says eating keto or carnivore on tour at shows is tough. Ask us how we know. Now, once you're like at a point like where you have a rider and you're like, I need 12, McDonald's quarter pound patties, and we need, 12 pack of diet soda or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I need whatever. I think that would be all right. Um, like I know Cam Patterson's another comedian that I like, and he was talking about his rider. He wants fresh Kool-Aid. That was hilarious to me. But Sean says that's kind of like taking a friend or a spouse to Dick's Last Resort for the first time I went there. I didn't know what they do, and I'm kind of a person that fires back, and they loved it. That was like me. So my friend took me to this place called the Wiener Circle in Chicago years ago. I had no idea what to expect. I'm walking up to this place, and it's open. It was at the time it was 24 hours. I don't know if it's 24 hours now. I haven't been in a long time. But this place, hamburgers, hot dogs, all cooked on an open flame. So you can get char dogs, you can get you can get a double char dog, basically 2 hot dogs on 1 bun. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And because like in Indiana, you can't get a good hot dog to save your life. I mean, you can get like the closest thing you're going to find to a decent hot dog is a dirty water hot dog, like downtown around the bars. But even then, I don't even know if they're around anymore. You're gonna have cash. But I digress. Anyway, we go and there's these guys walking out, and they were like talking trash about the lady. Like, if you call her this, she'll give you some extra fries. And I was like, I went in feeling bad for this. I'm like, man, they're being so mean to her. And they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, oh, and I guess it's a whole thing, it's just a whole thing where they're just mean, and like you're mean back to them, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole shtick. But I didn't know. Let's see. So I've never been to Dick's Last Resort though. I know there's a couple places like that in Chicago where they do that too. I haven't been to that either. Rick is here. He must have heard me talking about ducks. I was like, and it's duck season. I was like, Rick is out hunting. I'm like, shh, be very, very quiet. Rick is hunting for wabbits. Oh no, I said iguana tails, but John Guggenheim is heading to church. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, sir. Thank you again for being here. He's talking about digging a lot of ditches. That's a lot. I don't like digging. Dig, 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 dig the whole way through. Hoo, 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 hoo. Hi ho. Speaking of hi ho, hey brother, hola senor. My brother is here. What's a comfort zone? I work at home as well. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like just leaving your comfort zone. Like, so yeah. So you said Ash just said every day living outside of our comfort zone, but we love it. I'm loving it. So glad you guys are seeing the success that you're seeing because it gives me hope that it's a possibility for not just me, but for Andy and anybody else in here that has a channel, like Cindy and Heath and everybody who does this, can work at Sportsman's Guide, Sportsman's Warehouse. I wanted to. I just want to work at the gun counter, but then I'd be trying to buy too many guns. Rick says vacation. What is that? Kids can take care of themselves if they are old enough and have cars. Well, you still got to be there for them. At least that's how I feel. Do whatever you can for them because we've only got so much time on this earth. So, be in their lives as much as possible. Take care of them, love them, show them that you love them. So, we're not really taking a vacation this year because last year's vacation was a doozy. We spent almost 2 weeks in Florida, and we went to Disney and spent a lot of money at Disney. I mean, Disney's expensive. We knew it was expensive, and we just know it's expensive. So yeah. Well, I was doing DoorDash for a while, and then DoorDash kind of fell apart because I was like the first month or two, like the first month I did it, I made like the learning curve. I made like $1,200 my first month, just doing it a few hours a day, like 4 days a week, not really putting a whole lot of time into it, just when I could fit it in. I made like $1,200. That was nice. But then it got to the point where I was like sitting for like I would like sitting for 3 hours in a parking lot or sitting for an hour, then taking a run. And then they were like trying to give every run was $2. Or if it was like a $5 run, they wanted me to drive 13 miles. So I was like, I had to drive 13 miles or basically go to the restaurant, drive 13 miles to deliver it, then drive back to get into the zone where I can get another run. So and I think there's Uber and Lyft and stuff like that, but I don't know. That's like so much wear and tear on our cars. I don't know how much it's actually worth it. Maybe a freelance writer. Like, what do you want me to write, Heath? You want me to write your life story? Heath was awesome. And then he died. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. For a legit WAD work from home jobs, out rat race. Check out Rat Race Rebellion. I have to look that up because there's a couple of things that I was looking at that seemed legitimate, but they wanted me to pay for pay a monthly subscription. I'm like, how long is it going to take you to find me a job? And Chris says, usually if I don't want to cook, I throw meat patties in the air fryer, or we go out for barbecue. Yeah, that's the thing. Or I'll pick up, or I'll pick up a couple rotisserie chickens, but then I got to break them down. That's basically the same as cooking at that point. I mean, not really, but like I got to break them down and put them in Ziplocs because like if you let them get cold whole, it's just harder to get them. It's harder to break them down later. You don't want to put a whole chicken in the microwave. Becky says I part cook my chicken, then finish cooking them when I get home from work. Of course, can't do that with steak. Well, what I do is when I cook steak for Chandra's lunches, I will get a nice crispy, good sear on the outside, and the inside's probably more rare than she likes. I cut it into cubes, put it into a Ziploc, and she'll warm it up in the microwave when she gets to work, so it'll kind of finish it a little bit, you know. Brenda says, I have been on keto brains for a year, I think. I am able to buy it with my HSA. I order the container and 2 bags. I have misplaced the second bag. Hint, it may not be working. Questioning that. Oh my goodness. I lose stuff all the time. And then I clean up stuff and then I find it. Let's see here. Everybody's saying hello to Cindy. Jen's asking, has anybody tried bacon cheddar brats? I like cheddar brats. I wish they'd make a hatch like a cheddar. I think they had a hatch chili cheddar one time. That's what I would like with hatch chilies and cheddar. That's what I want. I haven't tried the bacon ones. Most things that are bacon made that are store bought, I'm not a big fan of. Brenda says no, but sounds delicious. Rick says us poor people have to get the work we can. I am very fortunate to be in a situation where I lost my job at the end of 2020, started YouTube, not making money from YouTube. I mean, let's be real. I mean, yeah, YouTube itself pays me about $50 a month, but I have to wait. I mean, that means I get paid every other month because you have to hit $100 threshold for them to pay out. And then I get a little bit here and there from affiliates with like Keto Chow. Um, that's the big one. Now, I did make a little bit more from Perfect Keto, but they've changed everything up, and I guess I'm not an affiliate with them. Like I've emailed my rep, and I'm guessing they don't work for the company anymore. And yeah, so uh, and I'm an affiliate with Pork and Good Pork Rinds, but they don't work the same way that Keto Chow does. Keto Chow, you can use the link over and over again, whereas basically with Pork and Good, every person can use it once. So I don't really get like residual money from them. I love duck eggs too. Cindy says she likes the cheddar bacon brats. Rick says, once you go quack, you don't go back. Yes. I love cheddar jalapeno stuff. It's just harder to find, at least in Indiana anyway. I'm sure the further south you go, it's easier to find. What was we had a barbecue place that James and Emily talked about, and and they love going there. They love their cheddar jalapeno sausage. We had one open up in our town, and I saw it being built. I saw it was finished, and then I never saw it open. So I don't even know. Like, I guess I mean because we didn't go over there very often where it is. So I guess it was open for about a month. Then it went out of business or whatever. So it didn't even last. Might have been 2 months. I don't know. Yes, try them. You will like them. Rick said, I'd rather go to the dump than Disney. Well, you can enjoy the dump. I like Disney. The dump smells bad and there are no rides. So, and there's no ice cream. Let's see. Karen says, I agree about the kids, Dustin. You know too many that have no relationship with their grown children. I struggle to have a relationship with because they're my stepkids. And they're at the age where they don't need us unless they need us. They've got their own lives to live, and so we bug them to come over for family dinners at least bi-weekly. We at least try to get them to come over every other weekend. And sometimes it is difficult for us to have it, because then I'm cooking and cleaning and they just make a huge mess and leave. So I'm like, ugh, and it's so tiring. Then like it seems like it takes me half the week to kind of catch up from them being over for a few hours. And I'm like, oh, like they were making all the cupcakes and everything in our house yesterday. And like I've got a mop today because they put gold glitter dust on top of the cupcakes and our floors have gold glitter dust on them. And I'm like, ugh, I got a mop tomorrow or today or whatever. I didn't do it yesterday. I was too busy. By the time I got back, when we got done with the birthday party, we went to Dollar Tree to get some stuff. I'm going to start getting myself better organized, getting a timeline, things set in place. And then I dropped Chandra off at home. Then I went to Aldi, came back, well, I went to Aldi, got stuff put away, went and put gas in her car so she had gas to go to work today. And then I came back, cooked her dinner. I jumped on a live stream with a friend of mine last night for about an hour. And then I got done with that. I had food. Then we went to bed. She's like, you didn't write it out your schedule. Or what? I'm like, da, 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 da. She goes, excuses, smiling at me, knowing that didn't have any time coming back. But, you know, it is sad. And I think some of it's the kid's fault and some of it's the parents' fault. I mean, because we're human and we're not perfect. Now, our kids are good kids, but, I see our daughter every day because she drops our granddaughter off here every day. And I see our son in law every day because basically he picks her up almost every day because he picks her up from us. Wednesdays, we drop her off at home. We were dropping her off at home every day because his car didn't have air conditioning, and it was like in the 90s, so it was just not. I mean, I grew up and it was fine. We didn't have air conditioning in the car and it was okay. But kids today, it's when we just drove her home. So yeah, you know. But I mean, to me, like helping our kids, that's just the thing you do. I mean, that's how I am. I'm always, I help my brother. Like I still have a freezer to take over to his house whenever he's ready. Let's see. Cindy says we go to Sonny's barbecue. Brian gets the jalapeno cheddar sausage as part of his pick the pit 3 meats. That sounds good. He says probably old, but isn't Disney World just a giant people trap built by a mouse? I mean, it's definitely a money pit for sure. I mean, but I love it. It's a lot of fun. I have some of these in the freezer. They're pretty good. They just don't have enough jalapeno cheddar flavor in them to me. There's not enough of that flavor. Every place I have looked for work from home jobs, after submitting your info, you get so many texts, calls, emails that have nothing to do with what they're looking. Yeah, right. I was looking at even like doing like a Pepsi job, looking at Pepsi, looking at the postal service. They're posting all the time. They need help. I go look and they're like an hour away from me, so they need help, just nowhere near me. I was telling Shannon that last night. I was like, they need help in rural areas that I'm not driving to. Because I mean, what would be the point for me driving an hour or two each way to work every day for them to pay me, the bare minimum? And it just, how can I better serve our life? We've got inventory, so that's going to be what I do. I'm just going to start doing all the stuff. She'll handle the clothes. I'm going to start working on the stuff. Try to do 5 to 10 listings each day, take photos and all that stuff, and she's going to be here most days to make sure I'm doing it right because, it is what it is. And I'll be basically on my own Fridays and maybe Saturdays. And I don't know if I'll do it Sundays or not, but, whatever. But that'll open me up. Hopefully, then I can start booking more people for Saturdays and during the week. And I know Jess and I have talked about doing a Wednesday show and, doing more stuff with YouTube. Because, Rick says, YouTube has paid me nothing in 17 years. It's not a very common thing. Like, even like, so what I tell people is getting into the partner program and getting paid by YouTube is almost like a fool's errand. I mean, it can be done because obviously I've done it and other people have too. Like Cindy's half monetized, right? It takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of work, and you have to dedicate yourself to not only making the content in the niche that you have decided to make content on, but you have to work to make that content compelling enough, work on your thumbnails, your title, so people want to click on your videos. Because you not only want the subscribers that you have, the people in your community, but you also want to try to make compelling content so others out will come in and join you. So that's the hard part. And I think, YouTube is one of those things, even if you're making a decent amount of money, you're never going to make enough for the effort you put in. So it is a diminishing returns, but understanding that if you are a YouTuber in the partner program making $50 to $60 a month, you are probably in the top 0.025% of all YouTubers. So that's just one thing I like to tell people because it's one of those things to truly keep in mind. Becky says, I got my enhanced driver's license done. Do you know how many hoops you have to jump to get it? I had to reapply for my social security card, proof of citizenship, electric bill. All my bills are electronic. I got mine a couple years ago. So I had to do all the same stuff. I had to bring them all the stuff. Yeah, it was weird. Cindy says, we do get the Teton Polish sausage at Costco. We have not seen the jalapeno cheddar. Yeah, we have both right now. The jalapeno cheddar, I think, are bratwurst. They're not Polish sausage. They're good. I put them in the air fryer. They're okay. Just dip them in mustard. They're good. They're just not like what I would get from a barbecue place. There's a difference. Had one last night. I just eat one. I ate 4. Anyway, sounds good. We are going there today, so we'll check. I don't have anywhere to go today, but maybe I don't think. I don't have anywhere to go today. All right, sounds good to me. Scott is here, Platte River Keto. Good morning, sir. Glad you are here. How was your ruck with the pups? Hope it was good. Becky's asking Chris where he gets his seasoning. Brenda says, my hubby loves the sausage. We get them at Sam's. I've been looking at Sam's, but all their sausages are higher in carbs. They had some stuff like a pork cheddar and bacon. It looked pretty good, but they were like 4 carbs per. I can't remember if they were per link or for 2 ounces. I can't remember, but I have a membership to both. Yeah, it's impossible to go. I mean, I spent $150 at Aldi yesterday. I mean, and I got the girl we pack her lunches every day for school. We pack her lunches with strawberries, blueberries, and a couple of grapes. I mean, there's this little divider thing. It holds like a little thing about this big of whole grapes and blueberries, and then we give her some chicken or turkey because she's really picky with what she eats, and then like little tiny bagels. So we pack her lunch, give her milk and water. So, I mean, basically just packing her lunch each week is about $100 a week. Well, not quite. Her lunches are probably about $50 a week because we have to buy fruit because she won't eat squishy. She won't eat squishy blueberries or squishy grapes. And then we don't eat grapes, and grapes only come in big containers. So I'm like, what do? We end up throwing away a lot of grapes. But he says get the cheddar jalapeno sausage links at Sam's. I don't know. Can you look and tell me what those what the carb count on those are? Because I don't remember. I look at everything all the time, and I'm like, well, am I actually going to eat that or not? I don't know. Can't do rides since I have bad motion sickness. Well, that's no fun. Everything makes you think of ducks. Chris says, usually I make my own seasoning mixtures. Just go to the bulk, get the bulk packs of garlic powder, onion powder, exact from Amazon stores like Sam's or BJ's. We have a BJ's, but it's far. It's like, I think it's at least 45 minutes to an hour from us. So it's out of sight, out of mind. And I think they were trying to offer memberships for like $25. But I was like, Sam's is like 15 minutes for me, and I still never go. I forget about it. But yeah, one thing I found at Sam's, though, Chris, we were talking about trying to make actual like carnivore imitation crab. They actually have an imitation crab there that's actually relatively low in carbs. And I'll get that every once in a while. It's so good. I mean, it's not great. It's still higher in carbs than I would like, but it's not as bad as the stuff they sell like Walmart. That's like 14, 15 carbs per serving, where this is like 6. So if you're really jonesing for something, then you have a Sam's that sells it near you. It's not a bad deal. Yeah. Eh, it is what it is. Let's see. Rick says, when my truck broke down, I had no way to get around except walking and a bike. No one helped me out. If I lived closer, Rick, if you didn't live 1,500 miles from me, I probably would have helped you. Becky says, I know your reference to seasoning in your post, but is there any way you could do a seasoning short on your channel? That's a good thing. Let's see. Cindy's asking, have I ever seen ADH Dave pics on YouTube? He has a couple other channels, ADH Dave and Cook with Dave. He's funny. Oh yeah, I've watched his videos. He's basically just converted to keto because he's been making all the keto stuff. He's been making all the cottage cheese recipes. Yeah. I need to get a better setup so I can do cooking videos like that. I don't know. Um, he's got a nicer house than me, it looks like, and like a better setup, and I'm sure I could probably do it. I just gotta I wish my island was facing a different way, it'd probably be better. But I could probably figure something out. Yeah. I'm gonna make a short because I went to Aldi, and Aldi used to carry these little keto cookies, and now they carry cookies that look exactly the same, but they are not keto. And I always, that's like one of the things is like you can buy things from a store and like something like Aldi where like, yeah, they were selling keto chocolate chip cookies, keto snickerdoodle cookies, the little ones that kind of look like the high keys. And they weren't as good as high key, but for the price, they were relatively clean and pretty tasty for the price. They were much cheaper than high key. And I was looking at them because they've got chocolate chip and a couple like a birthday cake flavor. They're like 16 grams per serving, where they used to be like 4 or 5 grams per serving of carbohydrates. So I'm going to make a quick short today being like, check your ingredients. Just because you buy it there at one point and they look the same doesn't mean they are. So yeah. Cindy says, trying to get monetized. I am at 800 subs and need about 480 watch hours to get over 4,000. Your good thing is you do a lot of live streams. Live streams do like really hit the numbers. And one thing that I found when we do this live, when I do this live stream, as soon as it's over, it'll show me that I've had like 70 views or however many views that I've gotten from today. And it'll tell me I have like 70 hours of watch time. Then once the video processes and it makes the transition from live statistics to VOD statistics or what people watch the replay, the view count will go up some, but the watch time drops. So it'll go from like it'll say from 70 hours down to 10, and like even digging into the analytics, I haven't been able to figure it out. Like, where does that go? Because I know that live stream. So all your people watching right now that are watching, the 45 of you that are watching right now, will go towards my watch time to keep my watch time up, because that's an important thing. Because once you hit the 4,000 hours and you get monetized, you have to sustain the 4,000 hours in perpetuity. So you either have to go up, which I'm lucky enough that my watch time last year has been like almost 9,000. So that's a good thing. But it's just when you're looking at analytics, there's so many questions. Yeah. And I'm sure that Chris sees this even more than I do. But I don't know how deeply I don't know how deeply you're digging into your analytics. Maybe one day, if you want, maybe we get together and talk about analytics or whatever, and what you've seen, what you see, what I see, because yeah, I don't know. I had friends who've helped me dig into analytics and understand them, that have had like, million plus view videos and stuff like that. So I don't know how much help I can be, but yeah. Yeah, he is pretty funny. And they're asking when's Chris's next live. Should be Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. I'm sorry. We go live at the same time, Chris and I, which I don't like, because I don't like it because I can't watch his live. He says YouTube is a grind. It requires much more than people posting videos, marketing, editing, and so much more. Just how much they agonize over thumbnails. I've gotten to the point now where I start making thumbnails before I even film the videos. I have an idea for a video, I start like trying to think about a thumbnail. Like, well, how's that going to translate? Like that newest video that I put out last week, like the thumbnail, it took me forever to make that thumbnail because I had to go and get all the photos of everybody, put them all together. And I still don't know if that thumbnail even translates, because the video hasn't gotten a whole lot of views. It hasn't even broken 100 views. So I just, I don't know. A lot and great information in the video, but it's just not translating to a wide-reaching audience like I hoped it would. I mean, that's obviously anytime you put a video out, you want it to reach a wide audience because you're trying to help the community. You're trying to, make a cohesive thing. So yeah, but it's worth it. Doing it full time is a blast. Way more than 40 hours a week, but a blast. Oh yeah, I'm going to start being a lot more like helping do that and do this and the housework. It's going to be a lot of work. Hopefully it'll help me get more content out. Sherry says, I wouldn't have the patience to do YouTube channel. I rarely even post anymore on Facebook and Instagram. Just finally got done posting all my vacation pics from last week on Facebook. That's the thing, is like, it's easier when you're doing it for fun. Like when you're posting vacation photos for fun on Instagram or YouTube or on, not YouTube, Facebook and such, it's just part of the joy of being on vacation or whatever. But when it's like when you have to get up and know that, your light bill depends on you getting some good views, it becomes it changes the dynamic. Sean says, almost time to start smoking some ribs. I'm hoping our boys will be coming over for dinner tonight. I don't think since we had everybody over we had everybody yesterday for the the not a cookout, but the birthday party. I don't think we're doing anything tonight, which would be nice. I'm gonna get some stuff done around the house, work on some content, and just kind of chill today. I think make it an easier chill day. Let's see. Cindy's asking Chris if he's tried Victor's bread recipe using all pork panko. Let's see. Sherry's saying, Sean, what I need to try soon. Bought a Ninja wood fire a month ago and haven't done those yet. I have to work the next 8 days straight at least, so that won't be anytime soon. I don't even know about that. There's so much stuff coming out. Crazy. Chris says he hasn't tried it yet, but he'll probably have to. Let's see here. Sean's gonna post pictures of his ribs on Facebook, and Cindy says, "Please do." And he says, 3 grams of carbs on the sausage, and he's sending me a screenshot. Well, I appreciate that. Rick says, before overdevelopment, we used to have migrations of land crabs here. Some good eating for eating those weeks. Oh, they're the big ones? Yes, that sounds amazing. Anything that oozes butter has to be good. I agree. The best keto cookies are the ones you make yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But sometimes you don't want to cook and you just want to get a bag of something. Okay, Cindy? Um, everything that's homemade is going to be better. But I mean, when you're busy, something's easy, you know? Let's see. I have to remember that the keto, I mean, everybody's different. Like even Steak and Butter Gal released a video that I was watching this morning. She was like, basically, anytime she posts anything, people will attack her. And I'm like, how does that benefit anybody? How does attacking somebody benefit anyone? And I know when you get to be a certain size channel, that's kind of a par for the course, I guess, unfortunately. But like she said that, she'll post something and like, oh, that's not carnivore. You had a bite of fruit. How dare you? Like, that was what my video was all about the other day. Like, how do we expect to wrangle all the people? Almost like I sound like Bill Cosby. How do we expect to wrangle all the people? That was probably a really bad impression, and I don't care. You showed up, you signed up for this. I'm not sorry. But anyway, how do you expect to wrangle all the people in the world who are eating trash, awful diets that they think are doing the right thing if we're too busy making fun of people or calling them out or nitpicking every single aspect of what they're trying to do? How? We can't. It's not going to happen. Cindy says, it is good, but way too much. I need to tweak it next time. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so Cindy asked the beginning of the live stream. So who was the big winner of the giveaway? It was hold on, let me pull my stuff here real quick. Why is everything in here? Let's just go backwards. $22 Cat was the winner. $22 Cat. So Lynn was the winner. Only 25 people commented. I was hoping for more. Sean says, I used to do all the Quest stuff, cookies, chips, peanut butter cups. Now only once in a while. Yeah, we used to do those all the time too. Like when Quest bars were like the only treat that were on the market that you could find. We'd do those every once in a while, kind of begrudgingly. Like, you know what, like you'd buy a box every once in a while, but I would find myself eating all 4 bars. And then Walmart started selling kind of similar stuff, and they would have like chocolate stuff and peanut butter cups, and those just made me real gassy. And then they had these chocolate clusters that were pretty good. We bought them once or twice, loved them. Bought them again, ate 2 or 3, and they hit us way different. Bad, way awful different. Yeah, Chris. Okay, you'd love that. Cool. Analytics are helpful, but I only issue certain ones. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just one of those things. I need to come visit always. Chris is like, I've always got a spare room if you find yourself in Nashville. Yes. So Chris is having a show Tuesday, but it'll be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in the studio channel. We'll be pre-recorded, but I'll be live tomorrow. Okay. Looking forward to the 6th, no live stream that day, to meet you both in Russell Springs. Chris Cook in Nashville. Yes, that'll be nice. Yeah, Cindy's super fun. She's super sweet. Brian's her better half, though. I like Brian better. um, I don't know. Brenda's asking if watching a replay in 2x makes a difference. I think it's still the amount of. I think you're still watching the amount of footage, just faster. I imagine it probably. Who knows? With YouTube, it probably does. It probably makes a difference, but I don't care. Um, Sean says, I hear the bigger channels talking about people getting unsubscribed from the channels. Does that happen to other? I imagine it does. And I think what happens is people will subscribe to channels and then not interact with them right away. So, like, if you go and subscribe to a channel and then click off of YouTube and go do other stuff and then never click back, and then you don't click back on for a while. So you don't even watch a video when you subscribe or scroll through their whatever. It may not actually let you. It may unsubscribe you sometimes. I don't know. I think that might be what it does. So Sean says all the time we are constantly reminding our viewers to double check to make sure they are still subscribed. Um, it's not okay. Um, Yeah, so Chris says if you all want to help a channel, one the best way is to pick a playlist and let it autoplay and just mute it while you walk away. Helps us greatly and doesn't bother you. Yeah, one of the things is so I'm gonna go and see if I can find this in my analytics real quick. But let me see if I can find something here. There's a way to look at like your subscriptions or like your subscriber counts. I can't remember, but there's a way to look at it, and it'll show you how many people have unsubscribed to you over the years. And like at one point, I'd be close to 10,000 subscribers if everybody who had subscribed to me stayed. So that's the weird thing. So you can look at that. So I imagine your numbers are even bigger. Um, I follow a bunch of different YouTubers that kind of outline that stuff. I can't remember how to get to it. I should be better at this, but yeah. So I don't know. Let's see. Chris says, yes, dealing with a tax is a daily thing, but it's a good thing if you see it as a metric of success. Getting exhausting, though. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, it's just like replying to as many comments as you can helps. And I'm just like, I had a comment the other day on one of my older videos. They're like, clip your nails. I'm like, well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. You know, if that's the most important thing you see in my video, I don't know who has the bigger problem, me or you. My long thumbnail or whatever it is. If I haven't cut my fingernails in a couple of days or whatever, I don't know. I don't even think about it. You know, we love the pudding. It's good. You know, terrible, terrible, terrible. People who nitpick aren't trying to help. They're feeding their own ego. That's the thing is like people, and I know that some people think they're helping. I like to think that there's a good amount of people who are like, that pepper's going to kill you. They're trying to help because they found that something didn't work for them. So now they assume that that's going to be the same for everybody else. You know, Sean says, that's what I love about Nisha. She made her own thing to shut up all the critics. She like, I'm not doing that. I'm doing my own thing. That's the thing is like, but we all do our own thing. And I advocate for everybody to find what works for you. Like, how do you find satiety? How do you find your own consistency? Consistency and satiety work hand in hand together because the better you are able at controlling your satiety, the better able you're going to be consistent. And then the more consistent you are, the better able you are going to be able to handle your satiety. That's just, they go hand in hand together. And it doesn't matter what, and it's like, I don't even care if people don't even eat keto or low carb. I see people all like people who had been YouTube, keto YouTubers, and they'll switch over to like counting calories. And you still hope them for success. You still hope that they find success. But at the same time, you kind of wonder, well, are they actually going to find success? Are they going to? And sometimes they come back like, well, I didn't find success, and I'm back at keto now. Welcome back. Cool, it didn't work. But we all try new things. How many people who do like a dirty keto have done strict clean keto or done triple B&E or done carnivore or ketovore and kind of always kind of hover back towards more of a dirty keto or any of those things. We all experiment. We're all looking to see what works best for us because nothing's going to be perfect for anyone, but we have to find the balance. We have to find the balance of what's sustainable for us, what can we do consistently that we can find satiety. We find that we feel good. We don't feel run down. Where we feel like we can get enough sleep. Like there's a lot of moving parts to feeling good, and it's weird because I never had that problem just eating whatever I wanted until I had a problem. Because the pain and stuff comes on slowly, you don't even realize it. And you don't realize how much pain you were in until it goes away. And then when something comes back, like, oh, now my hands are bothering me today, or like my foot hurts today, or whatever. And we're always constantly trying to tweak things. And I wonder how the population at large is going to handle that. And I imagine they probably won't. But I think if we can I'm not making a video about dirty keto because people shun things like dirty. Well, that's dirty keto. That's dirty keto. If we could get 1 billion people on this planet out of the 8 to do dirty keto, we would be in a lot better shape than we are in right now. A lot, and I think dirty keto is kind of a gateway. I talked about this maybe last week's live. I'm going to be working on some dirty keto things that most people and it'll probably give me some backlash. People are like, that's just how you're using keto bread. That's not good. I know. But how do we get the most people to transition to even give us a second thought? I don't know. And I mean, I'm probably going to get backlash. It's probably people are like, how how do you, but my goal really, my main focus outside of my own health and my family's health is your health along with everybody else. How do we help the most number of people? We can't come with our blinders on. We're not going to help anybody. But yeah, that's all we need to do, Sean. Find out what works best for us, regardless of what everyone else does doing. 100%. Yes, we showed up, signed up, and it was worth the money. Anything in the bar is disgusting. But sometimes you got to go out and be around people a little bit, even though there was nobody there. But this bar we went to, you could still smoke inside. I was like, that's weird because it hits you when you walk inside. Oh, so we sat outside, but still. Chris is saying, I love how Nisha handles it. I also love that she goes back at them. That's the thing is I don't necessarily want to go back at people because most of the time people are doing that for the reaction. They're doing it to get you to respond to their comment. Now I'll respond to the comment, but I'm not gonna. I'm like, well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. A good luck on your journey. That kind of stuff. You know, I don't know. You can try some deep fry. I want to try some deep fried iguana tail with my own keto batter. That's what I want. I like brats too. Those are delicious. Yeah, Chris and Ash are playing a show in Russellville, Kentucky, coming up in August. Sean's asking, just curious about meat stock. Wondering if you can bring your own RV, or is it not that kind of resort? I am not sure. That's where Brenda's from. She's from Russell Springs, Kentucky. That's pretty awesome. What would be the point of unsubscribing to a channel, Karen? I'm not sure. What would be the point of YouTube unsubscribing you? I think sometimes they try to dump subscribers that aren't really subscribers. I don't know. YouTube's weird. Chris says my nails get ridiculous too, which is hilarious since I'm a touring pro guitarist that needs them. I always found out that the way I play guitar or played guitar, like having long nails never worked for me. I always had to keep my nails very short because of the way I play, and I don't do a lot of finger picking. Never did a lot of finger picking. Not a lot of finger picking in metal. Um, as the 365-day timeline keeps moving on YouTube, people that do not interact get dropped off by YouTube at low carb spin. Yep. 100%, Becky. I believe you do you. Brenda says, I'm going to be there. Yes, I need to visit my cousins anyway. That's amazing. I wish I was able to go. Let's see. Rick says, it really surprised me to realize how many people actually suffer chronic aches and pains. Like, I mean, the ibuprofen and Tylenol market wouldn't be as big as it is if it wasn't a thing. Headaches, muscle pains, muscle aches, back pain, all of it. He says, be right back. Got to load the dishwasher. Rick says, I have 3 friends right now losing weight on the dirty keto. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it works until it doesn't. And I think dirty keto is a gateway. Now you're going to have two different divergent paths from dirty keto, right? You're going to have those who hit a wall and go, well, this doesn't work anymore. I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Then you're going to have the people who go, well, this doesn't work anymore. Well, let me tighten it up. And they're going to go off this way. And there's some people like, well, I guess I'm cool where I'm at and just keep going. I feel good, so I'm going to keep going. So I guess 3 paths. I lied. 3 paths. I don't need to convert strict carnivores to recipes, but I'd love to convert as many standard American diet people with my recipes as possible. That is how we change the world, one plate at a time. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're all putting this content out hoping that it helps people. And creative recipes like what you do, Chris, helps a lot of people because it helps those who are already living the lifestyle be able to find better consistency by finding better things that they didn't know that they could have. And it also brings in the new people who were like, well, that's weird. Let's see what, carnivore mashed potatoes? That's weird. You know, dirty keto first can lead to Rick's heart attack diet later. That's the thing. No Russell Springs, not Russellville. Uncle Big Guy says, good day, everyone. Getting ready for Sunday services for the rest of the day. Well, you have a great day, and thank you, sir, for being here. I truly appreciate you. Let me look it up real quick. I'll see what it is. Russell Springs, Kentucky, United States. Ash Taylor live at Java Springs, 7 p.m. Russell Springs, which is September 6th, which is a Friday. And it's an RSVP. I don't think it costs money. Well, you don't have to get tickets anyway. "23 Bernard Lane, Russell Springs, Kentucky, 42642. 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time." I don't know if that helps you or not. Rick says, I'm the oddball who uses no spices and rarely salt. Would be at home eating with Anthony Chafee and Sean Baker. But even they will have stuff every once in a while. I've seen Dr. Baker have not meat on occasion. And he's even been somebody who says he doesn't even think that he doesn't think everybody needs to do that. He doesn't even recommend it for everybody. I mean, it's not sustainable for everybody. Even you hear someone like Joe from Two Crazy Ketos say that it's not sustainable for him. He feels great. I feel great if I can eat just meat every day, but it's not sustainable for me. And Chris says the shock factor of my recipes gets people to listen sometimes, and people who love to cook or unsure if they can do it are maybe more willing to try. Yeah. No tickets, free admission, just good fun and country music. Well, that's yeehaw. When are y'all playing the Ryman? Playing the Ryman. Let's go. Is it also called the Grand Ole Opry, or is that only in Branson? So 20 tickets left for KPL. Yeah, everybody. Rick, you have time to get one. Go to KPL and hang out with us and bring an assortment of iguana tail jerky. The only time I don't eat just meat is when I run out of meat and have to eat fruit from my yard. But that's literally how we evolved. You eat meat until you don't have any, then you eat the fruit that's growing. I mean, you know. That's a strong stream, Chris. It's like, dude, if we get to play the Ryman and or the Grand Ole Opry, you'll hear us pee our pants 1,000 miles away. I've been to the Ryman once. I went and saw the Decemberists there. That was actually a good show. I like that venue. It's cool. We walked around, went upstairs, and looked at all the little cases, all the outfits and costumes that they would wear, like Dolly Parton and and what's her name? Minnie Pearl. I grew up watching. I grew up with my great grandparents watching Hee Haw and the Pickers and all. Like I have a soft spot in my heart for country music, like old legitimate country music. I really have I have a serious soft spot for all that. So I really do like it. Being a meat eater also limits your dating options. Gals don't like it when they open your refrigerator and eyes are looking back at them. I mean, the wrong girls anyway. Fourth path, nothing working, throw hands up. Well, that's what I was thinking. That was like you're doing dirty keto and you go either it didn't work and now I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before, or it worked, or it's working, and then it stops, and then you go, well, now I'm going to go this way, and I'm like, well, I'm going to figure something else out, or the third way is, well, I'm just going to keep doing this, even though it's not really losing weight anymore. Opry used to be at the Ryman. Now it's an Opry house built specifically for that, and the Ryman is separate. Sometimes the Opry goes back to the Ryman for special shows. I know because the Opry will have like strange bands to me that will play the Ryman that don't like. I know Deftones is played there, which I think is insane. And I think they've been doing comedy shows there too. I think as of late, like, I mean, probably a perfect place for comedy. But I wish they put some padding in there. Those pews are not very comfortable. I'll tell you, I was also pretty big at the time too. That was about a year before I started doing keto. It was like 2015 when I saw the Decemberists there. And went to Demos. Demos. You ever go to Demos, Chris, and have Demo steak and Demo steak and spaghetti? I haven't been there since since I've been keto, but I've eaten there a few times before keto. I like it. Rick says, I loved Hee Haw. Picking and grinning. Man, if you go back and watch some of those old videos of like Grandpa Jones and oh, his name has escaped me, but the one guy could play guitar like nobody else. Oh my goodness. Um Roy Clark. Roy Clark could play the guitar. Oh man, like Buck Owens, and they could all just play, man. They could just play. Like one of the very first live show experiences. I was a kid, and I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I remember we were at the Indiana State Fair, and we were walking down the little main, like you walk in, you get your tickets, and you walk down the main street kind of thing. They have like the Hooks Drug, like an old Hooks Drug store, and all this like animal barns and stuff either side. And there was a stage with this bluegrass band playing. And I sit down and I'm watching this bluegrass band play. And this lady's playing banjo, just picking up a storm, breaks a string mid song, picks up a new string, strings it up, stretches it out, tunes it up. And I'm like, I was hooked. Live music, me forever. Crazy. And Rick says that the ideal girlfriend would look like Anthony Chafee in a dress. I think you need to talk to somebody there, Rick. You need to talk more than just ducks. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Like sometimes I wonder how much of this is satire, Rick. In Hub's final months, I needed help in the house with him. I applied for Socoa, just now got a response. He's been gone 3 years. That is insanity. You probably shouldn't even feed ducks spaghetti. They shouldn't even eat bread either. Yeah, Buck Owens, Roy Clark, Don Rich, Merle Haggard, Glenn Campbell, and many more could pick a series. Yeah, I mean, so good. Saw most memorable show saw David Allen Coe and rapping. David Allen Coe had some history. I don't know about him. Ashes from Bakersfield. So we were all about Buck Owens, Don Rich, Merle Haggard, Dwight Yoakam country, on all the old countries like Loretta Lynn and Dolly. Yeah. Never forget the main ingredient in Rick's heart attack diet is satire. So that's hard to tell, like what exactly is real with you and what's not, because I don't know you in person. So, and sometimes that stuff doesn't come across all the way in text. So I'm always a little unsure. Sean says, saw a video of a guy reacting to Roy Clark playing guitar on the Odd Couple show. He was playing some Mexican song and strumming and picking were off the chain. Dude was amazing. And he just looked like somebody's uncle. Like Roy Clark was like the epitome of like the weird uncle. We had a growing up at a next door neighbor, and her son lived with her, and he looked like Roy Clark. I mean, not really, but like to me, like when I remember him and I see Roy Clark and him kind of remind me of the similar kind of person. And they were the kind of people that smoked so much that like their walls were the brown eggshell color. Um, Anthony Chafee thing is a joke. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, your preferred spouse is going to need to have an iguana tail. Yeah, 3 years later is insane. Karen says she's going to walk the fur babies. Have a great day. Well, thank you so much for being here, Karen. We truly, truly appreciate you. Have a wonderful day and enjoy those fur babies. Chris says Roy Clark video is wild. He was an incredible musician. Actors reacting was totally organic and real, and I believe every single take. I mean, it's just insane. Like, yeah. And I look for that kind of quality now, even with like the music that I listen to. Like, I look especially on the tech death side of things, like the stuff that people like when it comes to like say like somebody like Muhammad from Necrophagus. That dude could play guitar. His solos are wild. Like the solo for Foul Awful Discharge. Oh my goodness. I mean, they're a death metal band from Germany with, I mean, I saw them live once. I saw them in 2006 and they played with Arsis and Job for a Cowboy. And yeah, I mean, I've never been to a show where big dudes are moshing and going crazy. And then when the guitar player plays a solo, people just go like this. Like, I mean, like, if you like guitar, check out the band Necrophagus. I'll find a video of it real quick and I'll put it in the chat. Understand, this is death metal, people, but it is great. Let's see. Oh, it's Fermented Awful Discharge. I'm sorry. All right. So I put that in there, and it's only like a minute and a half long, so you guys should be good to go. Jennifer says that her hubby looked a little like Jerry Garcia. Let's see. When I have my bike ride later, I'm gonna go to the canal and look for iguanas. I think I did see that. I did see that video of him playing slide guitar with a water glass. Dude was good, man. He was so good. Jennifer says favorite guitarist is Robin Trower. I don't know who that is. Let's see. He says makes me proud to be from Texas, where Bob Willis is still the king. Chris says Johnny Hilliard is my personal favorite guitarist. If you haven't ever heard his stuff, go check him out. He's also blind. Wow, that he can do. That's kind of like how I always felt with um what's it? They were the house band in and Roadhouse. He played on his lap. Blind guitar player played on his lap. Was amazing. Um, He want to say Jay Giles. That's not what it is. It's ugh. Jeff Healy. That's what it was. Just Jason Keto is here. Good morning, Mr. Jason. Jennifer is saying I'm still a baby. I'm just a baby. Joe Satriani's awesome. Yeah, you guys got it. Jeff Healy. Yeah. But yeah, check out that link. Muhammad's a. I mean, I know you may or may not like death metal, but I mean, Sean might like it. But I don't know if Sean's ever heard of Necrophagist. I mean, the hopes of a third record from them have gone out the window. But um, I mean, everybody's still alive as far as I understand. But they just, for whatever reason, Muhammad just isn't into putting a new album out. Um, Last album came out in like 2005, I think. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to all the wonderful people who support this channel by being a member, liking, subscribing, sharing these videos, hanging out with me and talking for hours on end, putting up with my troll-like face. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like, you know, I actually hung out with a guitar player from Hammerfall. His name is Pontus, and we were talking with him like in 2010 about how he learned how to play guitar, and he, living in Sweden, started going to a guitar store. He was about 16 years old, and he befriended a then young guitar player working at said guitar store by the name of Yngwie Malmsteen. Now, if you know guitar, you know Yngwie. If you don't know guitar, you may not know who Yngwie is. But yeah, so he learned how to play guitar from Yngwie Malmsteen. And he kind of went over the whole thing of like how the different bands in that era at the time with like broke off and became like Europe and all that stuff. And it was a long talk, and my buddy got real drunk, and I was just listening to him tell me all this stuff about all his history and the bands he'd been in, and knowing Yngwie Malmsteen, and like Hammerfall being one of my favorite bands. I mean, I love power metal. If you love traditional power metal, Hammerfall's for you. They got a bunch of albums. They just released a new one. You know, But anyway, I want to say thank you all so, so very much for being here with me. I enjoy our Sundays together. I truly do. Congratulations to Lynn. I will be making a post here in a few minutes in the community tab, Facebook, and all that stuff, letting her know that she won, and she will be able to reach out to me and we can figure a way to get her stuff. But thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I love your faces, your family, your friends, your pals, your confidants. Thank you for being a friend. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll see you on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. Shannon and I will be here. Until then.